In our daily living, do we pay attention to the beneficiaries of your will? If not, the attorneys insist that we do so. The one famous attorney at law, Mr. Raja Bhandari from the Law Office of Attorney Raja Bhandari and Sex and Settlements, is here with us today, and he will further talk to you and I about this subject matter.
Good afternoon. This is Raja Bhandari from Law Offices Raja Bhandari and Sex and Settlements, Annandale, Virginia. Welcome back, friends. Kanun. Last time we were talking about when you buy a business, what you should know and who should you consulting with. Now we are talking about you did a business, you made a lot of money, you established the business, you want to sell the business, you're going to cash it now. So many people do. They establish the business. They run it properly for a few years, then they're trying to sell it. So now, but at the same time, they forget that in order to sell the business, you have most of the time same responsibilities and same duties when you're buying the business. So how we should know that we are ready to sell the business? So these are the things that I will be discussing from my experience when we do the closings for the businesses in our office. So there are so many things, they are written, that these things should be followed, but there are so many things practical when we do these things one after another from the years and years of experience, then we find out that these things should be in the checklist. Let's talk about now. First, we're talking about determine a realistic price. Let's say that you run the business, now you know you're expert. If you own the business and that business is worth only for $1, you're putting the price for $5, obviously you won't find anybody that can buy the business. You have to make sure that you do a proper appraisal for the business, and then that appraisal will be also handy for the buyer if he or she is taking a loan for that matter. So make sure the proper business you have, it has a proper realistic value of the when you list the business. So if your business is worth only $1, it should be $1.10. So you can negotiate later on or negotiate properly with that. So realistic price should always help when you sell the business. Now, second thing is that understand the tax consequence. That's very interesting and very solid point. I tell you that you should consult an attorney and as well as your CPA for that matters. When you sell the business, a lot of money is coming in and you're going to pay the taxes for that. So you make sure that how you minimize the tax consequences of that. Of course, you have to pay, but at the same time, what kind of expenses you can put it in, what kind of situation you can bring in that with the consultation of your CPA, then you can save a lot of money. That's Manjeet Singh money. That's, you should know that. You should talk to him. He will tell you. He's a very expert as far as business is concerned. So money is coming in and you want to save that money, not paying more taxes, whatever you're required to. So make sure that you consult a CPA of your choice. Now let's talk about businesses looking good. Looking good, that doesn't mean that you paint the business. You paint the walls. You clean that. You should be making so many changes. Of course, business should be your proper location should be looking very handsome as far as the beauty is concerned. You should be cleaned up, everything should be properly done. However, there are other things that when you are selling the business, you have so many expenses that you put every year for yourself. That can be medical expenses, that can be travel expenses, that can be other expenses. When you put those expenses, that should be in your document when the buyer comes in. You can show that, look, I'm making $100,000, but at the same time, I'm deducting these expenses out of that. So the buyer, when he's thinking of buying your business, he should say, oh my God, I can also deduct this. My life insurance will be covered, my health insurance will be covered from business, other expenses will be covered. So he or she can make a decision accordingly that when I buy this business, I'm having a lot of other advantages too. So that is what you have to prepare it. Then you have to prepare obviously your receipts, then all that your expenses, that your gross income, gross expenses. Those things, when you put everything properly on the paper, it will be very helpful for the buyer and his attorney and or the CPA, so they can recommend you, this business is very good, go ahead and buy it. So make sure that your business looking good. So that means looking good this way also. Now let's talk about seek potential buyers. How are you going to list the business? One is very properly that you hire the competent broker that you can list your business accordingly. Second thing is that you can put the word of mouth. Third, you can talk to individuals, your friends, your relatives, or the other neighbors. So these days you can do that online. I mean, everything is online these days. But make sure that you exercise all the avenues, because if you have a limited buyers, then you have a limited negotiations power. If you have more people, your business is looking good, your business is doing well, you're doing absolutely fine. If you only talking to 5 people rather than 500 people, look where you can stand. If you can make 100,000, obviously you can make 150,000. But at the same time, for that matter, you should be having on your team a competent attorney who is a business attorney who can be preparing the documents for you, negotiating with the buyer's attorney or with buyer directly, or the obviously your competent broker. So that way that you are protected when you are selling, the buyer is protected when he is buying. So make sure that you have plenty of buyers on the listing situation, so that way you have more advantage to that effect. Now, there's another thing that we discussed last time about that when you're selling the business and buyer is buying the business, there are two options. One, you can sell the company itself, or you can sell the assets. So make sure that you have both the options open. However, buyer has the choice. Buyer wants to make sure that he or she is buying the assets only. So, but at the same time, if the company is doing well, the research has been done, there's no lien, no mortgage, nothing is there, free and clear, and that there are so many licenses are involved, and then buyer has option to buy your company as long as he or she can buy it, because of there are so many other requirements, you cannot buy the company. So friends, these are the most important thing. I will be talking next week again few more things when you are selling the business, so we can go over on that. Time is up for today. This is Raja Bhandari. So long.